Hey everybody, this is Roger Siegel, back for another video, and this is my review of the Elephone S8. Before I go forward, please like, subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified when I do new videos. I'm trying to build up this channel, make stuff a little bit better with each passing video. This phone has caught a lot of attention when it was released a few months back because it's got a compelling combination, great specs, even greater looks, global LTE support, and really competitive pricing. The Elephone S8 offers a Helio X25 CPU, tri-cluster CPU, a Mali T880 GPU, 4 gigabytes of RAM, 64 gigabytes of ROM, respectively, 2 Sony camera sensors, a 21 megapixel on the rear, 8 megapixel on the front, and a 6-inch 2K display, which is really the star of the show. Let's see if I can actually grab this here for you. Let's pop that bad boy on, and I mean, you can just see how beautiful that display is. That is really what makes this phone stand out, and it is by far and away the best feature. Like I said, 6-inch 2K display, and it lives up to the hype. It's great. There's a 4,000 milliamp battery on top of it to power it all up. The display is the #1 feature on this phone. There are some people that have called this, a flagship killer and things of that nature. I wouldn't quite go that far. It's a really nice phone, and we'll get more into that as the review goes along. The rest of this phone is really kind of a mixed bag. It performs fluidly for the most part. I actually thought it would perform a little bit quicker. I mean, it's not laggy or anything, but with the deca-core processor and the 4 gigs of RAM, and I just thought it would kind of fly. It doesn't fly. It's fast and it's fluid, but I think that's because it is powering this humongous and, granted, beautiful display. One of the cool things about it is it's really running a pretty stock version. This is the Google Now launcher on here now, as you can see. But it's running a pretty damn stock version out of the box of Android 7.1.1. Fingerprint sensor works really, really well. It's very fast. From off, works 100% of the time. Pops you right on. You can also navigate with this key, which is also really cool. One of the big stories about this phone is the connectivity on this phone is really, really good, and it's global. So that has made it, very appealing, and it's made a lot of people in America very curious because we don't get a chance to get our hands on these kind of phones very often. The LTE bands in this make it compatible with any GSM network in the States, which is really AT&T and T-Mobile and their offspring companies. Just to show you the compatible bands here. Let's just go to MTK engineer mode here, and let's go into band mode, and let's see here, Sim 1, and you can see all of the band support. LTE modes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. Now there's no band 12, so for T-Mobile, in some areas that might catch you a little bit, but not really. Their main bands are all in there, and so are AT&T's. So that's something that's really, really cool about this phone. And, a lot of Chinese phones just simply don't offer that. I will say with the connectivity with this, though, speaking on that point, is a lot of times when I'm in Philadelphia, which is a major market, obviously, and I think that in all honesty, when I do travel outside of the city a little bit, it will every once in a while jump down to 3G, even 2G edge sometimes. So I don't know if that's as a result of not having band 12. I am on T-Mobile, so T-Mobile uses band 12 a little bit more than AT&T. But I still have connectivity and data in 90% of the places that I have. But I do notice the difference between this and, let's say, an LG phone or something like that that has every single band. I very, very rarely drop off the 4G LTE network. With this phone, when you go out into a more rural area or a more suburban area, that might be something that you will have to at least look out for. It has dual band Wi-Fi, so that's cool, 5 gigahertz, so there's no worries there. Now this phone comes packed with a 4,000 milliamp battery, and I've heard a lot of people kind of bag on the battery life of this phone. And I will say that I can't really agree with them. I found the battery life to be really, really solid on this, especially considering it's powering that huge 2K display. No issues whatsoever. The battery, it'll get you through a full day of heavy, and I'm a real heavy user. I mean, it's mostly a lot of video streaming and stuff like that. So, yeah, the battery life is really good. Now, it charges pretty slow. So when you're done at the end of the day, you're going to want to plug it in at night, wake up, and have it fully charged. But I don't think you're ever going to have a problem with it getting you through the day. Let's see, the sound. The sound on this phone, the speaker, it's average. It's not great. It's not terrible. It's average. It'll get you by. It gets relatively loud. You can consume media on this, you know. Obviously, the display is the star. But, yeah, the speaker is okay. The sound through the USB-C jack down. Now, there is no headphone jack. You know, they give you a USB-C to headphone dongle. Is average. The volume doesn't get super loud. It's clear. You know, don't let any of these OEMs tell you anything about how it's better and this and that. It's a complete scam. They save money by just software implementing your audio out through your USB-C, and you're asking something that's already being asked to do a lot of different functions to do yet another in delivering your audio sound. A headphone jack is better, period. It's a complete scam. The OEMs do not want to spend the money on the extra hardware. They'll tell you it's because of design, blah, blah, blah. Another thing is you can't parallel charge at the same time you're using a headphone jack, or you can buy a jack to do that, but it's don't listen to them tell you anything other than the truth is companies do it to save money, and it is not as good as having a headphone jack. That being said, the sound is pretty decent. You're not going to have any issues. But yes, you'll have to bring that annoying dongle with you to plug your headphones in, which is kind of a drag. Let's get to the cameras of this thing. So, the cameras on this phone are very good. I wouldn't call them great. They're definitely not flagship level. They're just very good. On the rear is an IMX220 21 megapixel Sony sensor. It's capable of shooting in 4K and RAW files. Gives you really good detail. Shoots really well in natural light. Is a little bit slow to focus at times, but once it does, it grabs it, and you get a really good picture. It'll take really good pictures if you want to edit them in post. In artificial light, like many other phones in this price point, it does struggle a little bit. It still gets you more than usable photos, but they're nothing outstanding. And, you know, it kind of reverts back to what you see in a lot of these Chinese phones and the MediaTek phones and Snapdragon phones too, for that matter. You know, the rear camera is good. It can give you good pictures, you know, sometimes really good pictures. But definitely not on the flagship level. Like I've seen this phone reviewed a couple times and people say that, and that just simply isn't true. Video quality, again, solid, not outstanding. There's no stabilization. You can shoot in 4K. The quality comes out good. Like the Sony sensor is a good sensor. But it's not a flagship level sensor. You know, the MediaTek app is pretty basic. So I think Snap Camera. I actually read on an XDA developers forum about this app, and for this specific phone, I think it's a really nice companion app, so that might be something you might want to check out. The front-facing camera, really good, really clear, extremely detailed. It's an 8 megapixel IMX219, and I gotta say, like, it's pretty fast. Now you have to flip your phone upside down like you have to do on a lot of these bezel-less Chinese phones, but it's a good front-facing shooter, and you're not going to have too many problems with it. For this price point, more than adequate. It does video pretty good. It records audio pretty well. Elephone has really come a long way, and they have a lot of experience using these sensors, these Sony sensors, and have optimized it much better than they used to. They used to be considered kind of junk, and now they are really. I mean, look at this phone, though. It is. You can see plenty of fingerprints, obviously, but I mean, it is gorgeous. It is a beautiful, beautiful device. You know, metal around the sides, glass on the back, the huge display, and, you know, all I got to say is that this phone, all in all, the Elephone S8 is a good to very good phone. Not great, not flagship. It's a definite solid value at the $229 price tag that I paid for it from GearBest.com. If a flagship is what you're looking for in this price range, then what I would recommend on just performance alone is last year's LG V20 or a G5. I mean, you can get them for, you can get a G5 for under 150 bucks these days, and you can probably get a V20 for about $220 what this phone cost. And performance-wise, it's going to smoke this phone. The cameras are going to be better. It's going to have more ops. It's got a wide-angle lens. It's got DisplayPort out. It's got a removable. I mean, those are better phones. But the thing with this phone is, I wouldn't call it a novelty, but it's like an accessory. If you want to impress your friends and show them this gorgeous, glass display, glass body and the bezel-less display, and it really stands out. It's definitely a conversation piece. It's almost like an accessory. You might pop your SIM in it one night when you want to go out and just, impress your friends and just have them ask you, hey, where'd you get that thing? And it is a good phone. It's a good, solid performing phone. So I would recommend it at $229 with this display, the 4,000 milliamps, pretty good processing power, solid cameras. I would say for $229, definitely worth it, and it would be something to check out. So like I said, you can get it at GearBest, $229. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, please subscribe, hit the like button, the notification bell so you can see when my videos come, and thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next one.